What motivated you to join the military?
Okay, I was drafted into the Army when I was 21 years old. My lottery number was a low number, and the military called on me to come and fight for my country.
Was there any special events that happened during your time?
Just rocket attacks and things like that, I never thought I would experience anything like that. It was a whole new experience for me. I never expected anything like that.
Yes, I joined the Navy in order to fly airplanes. I decided I wanted to be a pilot, even though I'd never been in an airplane before I started flight training in the Navy. And that was in 1960.
What was one of the toughest parts being in the military?
Well, undoubtedly, the toughest part was being separated from my family. I was in the Navy, we used to deploy for 6 to 9 months. One time I was gone for a full year away from my family, and that was the hardest part.
What is the most craziest experience that you had?
I'm going to say that the first night at Paris Island, we got there on the bus from Charlotte about 12 o'clock at night. That whole night, they kept us awake most of the night, throwing garbage cans and stuff, and then we got a haircut during the night. And then the next morning, going to eat breakfast, it was at 5 o'clock and it was still dark. So you couldn't see people, all you could see was flashlights. And it was an awesome sight to see 88 guys lined up together. You couldn't see anything but their flashlights swinging back and forth as they marched. It was, I wondered what I had gotten into at that time, but it worked out.
Was your faith a big part of the military experience?
Definitely. Once when I was in Vietnam, and there was a gunfire support mission that we were called to conduct, and that was tough. Our faith that the good Lord was going to take care of us, and He did.
What was the toughest part about serving?
Leaving my family. I had never been anywhere. Just tell you the truth, I was a country boy, and I just never had been anywhere much, and that was the hardest part, leaving home.
What was it like coming home?
It was very interesting because when I came back from Korea, for instance, I had to wear my uniform. And I flew into Seattle, and the first thing I knew, people were spitting at me. And they were yelling at me because they didn't like the Vietnam War. Yet, I had to go through them to get home, to fly to Michigan. When I did get home, I mean home, my family appreciated what I was doing, and we really enjoyed a time together. Had to settle in and to find work here, after I got out of the Army. And again, the Lord provided for me to get into work, and that was something that I had to get done right away, and it provided a job for me, just how the Lord took care of me.
Basic training was the worst part, and after that, I spent 2 years in Japan. Well, the first thing that it taught me was to say yes sir and no sir. You learn that right on, and to remember things like your Air Force serial number, AF1451957, that I still remember 60 years later.
How did your faith affect your time in the military?
Praying for my father. Just before I went in the military, my father went through 3 surgeries, and he lost his left leg above the knee. That was hard. And last night I was looking through some of my old paperwork, and I found about a dozen or more bulletins from where I had attended churches in the areas I was stationed. So church and my faith was important.
Today we celebrate veterans. Thank you for giving up so much for our freedom
and reminding us of Jesus' sacrifice.